Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry. This is Monday Quilt Chat. Are you ready for some sewing, quilting encouragement? That's what this is all about today. So I'm just going to jibber jabber about all the quilting things going through my head. This past weekend I worked on another one of these. I have 5 done now. I will have to probably do one a day. Yes, one a day. It takes me 4 hours to do one. If I'm just in here sitting straight doing one, I will say 3.5 to 4 hours to do one of these. So I'm going to have to do one a day to get this done in any timely manner. So that's what my days are going to consist of for the next little while. There's 12 altogether. Well, there was 11, remember? And then 2 halves. So technically there's 12. So yes, Friday, after I left you on Friday, I got busy. The mood just hit me. I got busy on our row quilt from the Jolly Bar books. And I'm looking at my row over there. I have it all finished. Can't show you yet. You'll have to wait for Wednesday's video to see it. But yeah, I got all those clips done for the video, so very soon here, this week on Wednesday, you will see what you need to do for your first row. And it's fun. It's fun. It doesn't take a whole lot out of you to do it. And you'll have a whole row done. So come back on Wednesday if you're doing the Jolly Bar sampler, or if you've been on the fence about it. Get on one side or the other. Get on the side that's doing it, because I think you'll enjoy it, and it's not going to be that hard. It's going to be a nice size quilt too. It's not huge, but you know, it's good size. Also, I did a little bit of cleaning and straightening up, not much. I could stand to take some time and really do some cleaning. As I've been saying, I've just been kind of maintaining the basics here lately. But I did do a few things. You know, it gets to a point where you just have to stop and do it. And it's the same way with my house too. You know, you see that dirty surface or whatever for so long, and finally you just have to break down and do it. And I did do some stuff like that in my house this past weekend, along with laundry. But the weather has been glorious around here. I should be outside digging around and cleaning up and straightening things up to get ready for winter, but I haven't. When I get a chance, well, here's what happens. I come up here and I do my thing, right? If it's still daylight, I'll go sit on the back patio and just veg out for an hour or so, or whatever amount of time I can spare, because the weather has been so nice. We don't usually have this long stretch of nice fall days. Usually it's like, you know, 5 days, maybe a week out of the fall that is fit for anything, and then the rain comes and the winter temperatures come. It is going to be a little colder this week, but I think the weather itself is supposed to be good. So, like I said, not very often do we have a big long stretch in the fall that's like that. So I'm enjoying that. It keeps me in a good mood, because the sunshine is what makes me stay in a good mood. If it's gray skies, I'm no good. I'm no good. I have to push myself really hard to accomplish anything. So I'm looking around. I'm trying to think if is there anything else I touched. I don't think so. I think that's all I did was the one block and then the row. But that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. I did get some happy mail from someone. This is, I went and checked the mailbox at the post office, which I hadn't been for a long time. So this was there. It is a postcard from Alaska. Those are puffins. Alaskan puffins. And this is from Shirley. And she says, just want you to know how much I enjoy your YouTube channel. Thank you for the time and effort you put into it. Thank you so much, Shirley. I really appreciate your message and your cute postcard from Alaska. I'll put that on my quilt wall over there, along with all the other things that have come in over the past 2 or 3 years. I also got in the 2 magazines, American Quilter from the American Quilting Society and American Patchwork and Quilting for the month of December 2024. I'm not going, look, they both have the same back. I'm not going to go through page by page, but I did mark a few things that I wanted to share with you. Of course, there's always lots of patterns and lots of information in these magazines. If you don't subscribe, you should. This one here, let's see. There was something, oh, this is American Patchwork and Quilting. Let me do the American Quilter first. That one had something in it that I wanted to share with you. You know, I always love this Did You Know section. And there's just a lot of history and all kinds of cool information in here that, you know, that we didn't know. So that's why this is called Did You Know? Because more than likely you didn't know, but now you do. This is talking about whole cloth quilts. You've heard of whole cloth quilts? And in this day and age, it would be maybe like a wide back that has a quilt pattern on it. You know, looks like a quilted quilt, but it's not. It's just printed on there. And then you can throw that on your long arm or even on your domestic and just quilt it up, and you've got an instant quilt, right? Well, it didn't start out that way. It started out as just very plain. They were white. There's one here that's kind of a gold color, a pink, a gray, and then there's one that has a print on it. And I'm going to show you these, and then I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. There's kind of a white one, a gray, a pink, and a gold, and then there's a patterned one down there. So you can see that they did all the hand quilting on that plain fabric, and a lot of times it was silk or some silk blend that they had. These are the first quilts that came to America in the 1600s, and they were not patchwork, but they were expensive and luxurious. That they were considered expensive and luxurious, these whole cloth quilts. And they weren't always made of one piece of fabric, but it might be several pieces of the same type of fabric hooked together, and then they put the intricate quilt pattern on top of it. So it says here that patchwork didn't become popular until the late 1700s. So these whole cloth quilts were imported from England, France, or the Netherlands, and were constructed of wool, cotton, or silk, and they were professionally quilted with elegant designs. Hence, that's why they were so expensive, right? So, you know, housewives weren't sitting on their kitchen table or on their quilt frame quilting these. They bought them. But they ended up here because of the, the immigration from Europe. So I thought that was interesting. And Europe takes a lot of its crafts that we have now from India. And India, probably isn't given enough credit for how much quilting history there is with India. We think of them as, that's a cultural way to do quilting. That's how they have certain things like Kawantha and Kantha and whatever all that there is. And, they use silks and leftover sari material and things like that to make bed coverings. But really, they probably go back farther than the Europeans and what they brought over to the United States. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. And then also this one here, And this is also another reason to believe what I just said, or to, it would be reasonable to think. How they made these here is they call it resist, and it says the pattern is created by covering the white areas of the fabric with a paste that blocks the uptake of dye, and the lighter areas by repeating the process with multiple dips into indigo baths. So there's different shades of blue depending on how they placed the paste and how long it was dipped and all of that stuff. So what does that remind you of? Indian batiks. That's what Indian batiks are done with. Well, they use wax, but it's the same principle. So I thought that was interesting. That goes way back to the 1600s. And then in the American Patchwork and Quilting, there are 2 sew-alongs in here I wanted to mention in case you are interested. This one's called Gem Tones, and this goes through several issues of the magazine. So like there will be part of it in this magazine, and then on down the road with I'm thinking in Spanish. The word is what I want is the following issues are all the way through August of 2025. So that would be a good skill builder for you. I'm not going to make this. Of course, they want you to make it in gem tones, or solids, or something that reads solid. It'd be a cool quilt to make. I think it would. I would do this. I just don't think I'm going to have time to do it. The other one that I wanted to show you, are any of you doing this one? Let me know in the comments if you're doing either one of these. But this is called Evening Glow. And this is like the one that we just did with the Scrappy Celebrations. It's laid out the same way. Like the whole pattern's in here. So every week you do a certain amount of tasks on the quilt. For example, the stars. I don't want to show anything I'm not supposed to show. The stars, there's 25 of them. That's 1 week. That's just the star part. And then another week you'll be doing the little strips around it, and then another week you'll be doing all of these 16 patches. So it's like 6 weeks, just like our Scrappy Celebration was. But I feel like this is a lot to do for 6 weeks. It's not hard. You do a whole bunch of flying geese for those stars. I think that's a week by itself. And then 1 week to put the stars together, another week to do the strips on the sides and the cornerstones, and then you have your 16 patches. So I guess it's not super impossible to do, but I'm not going to do it. I don't think so. If I hadn't started the Jolly Bar row quilt with you, I might have chosen that. I don't know. We could always come back to it, right? And another thing I've been meaning to do is to go back in my back issues of this. I don't have as many years as I used to have, but I have probably 3 or 4 years over there. I'd like to go back in this magazine and see their sew-alongs that they had that I didn't do. Because I've been getting the magazine for a lot of years, but I rarely do a project. I just like to look at the magazine. But now that I'm recognizing what's in those magazines and what I can do with it, with this channel and with you, it has a different meaning to me now. So I need to do that sometime. I think I mentioned on Friday that I was missing some fabric for these blocks because I had cut this one right here. I had cut it wrong. I had cut it like these. Instead of making round ones, I made the corner to corner ones. So I was short some fabric. I found it and I bought it, and it got here pretty quick. So I will be needing that here pretty soon. So I've got it in the wings waiting to be done. But that does mean that I need to sit and cut and do some stitch and flips for that particular little section of the block. Oh, and I did want to mention too on that block, I pointed out a mistake, and then one of you found a mistake too. And it was one of these sections. I think it was down here. You know, see how there's 6 here? There's 6 pieces to that. I had it all together as one, and I flipped it one time. So I'll have to take this out right here and fix that. Looks like I am going to be fixing those mistakes, aren't I? Well, it's just such a pretty quilt. You know, it's kind of special. And I want it to be right. So I will probably be changing those. Okay, so let's talk about recent acquisitions. I forgot 2 things last week, and I thought it was kind of light. So it's a little heavy this week, but I didn't buy all this since last week. I have a friend that wants a red quilt, and Missouri Star had this Ruby Days on sale. I don't remember the price, but it was perfect for what I was wanting it for. So I'll be making my friend a quilt out of this sometime soon. And then also I had gotten, I think it was, well, yeah, it was the raffle at So Yeah. I had gotten from the after party one of these, but it was supposed to be a layer cake. So you know how I feel about jelly rolls. This is a pretty jelly roll. It's from P&B Textiles. It's called Painted Petals. See, it's pretty. I don't know. But I would never have bought or chosen a jelly roll. I asked for a layer cake. So they sent me a layer cake and told me to keep the jelly roll. So I'll have to have this as a giveaway or something. So this is from Maywood Studio. It's called French Quarter. And it has several dark blues in it. They put that light, busy one on there. But there's a lot of different shades of blue. I think it'd be pretty made up in a quilt. So I have that. And then also on an after party, I got this. Do y'all know what I'm talking about when I say after party? So Yeah has an after party. That means when their live sale goes off, if you wait a little while, they'll come back on. But you cannot mention at all during the regular live sale that there's an after party, or they'll cancel it and they won't do it for months. So I'm telling you a secret, but don't mention it on the live chat during the regular show. Just stay on, be patient. It takes a couple of minutes for them to come back, and they'll come back and they'll have another little sale just for the after party people. So one night they had this Riley Blake Hush Hush 3. The Hush Hush 4 has already come out, but this is a bundle of, I thought it said fat quarter bundle. Does it say how many there are? I don't know. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of them. Probably 30 or so. And I got a good deal on this. I think it was only like $50 for that. Was it less than that even? I can't remember. I think it was $50. And it normally would have been like $65 or $69, something like that. So, you know, low volume, great for backgrounds. So I picked that up. But that's basically all I've brought in here recently that I can think of. So there's that. Now there's 2 other things I want to talk to you about right quick. I say right quick, but you know, it'll probably be another 15 minutes. I don't know. So we decided as a group to donate quilts and have them go to Lo and Behold Stitchery in Black Mountain, North Carolina. I had received an email from them, and I wanted to go back and see Okay, so what happened was I received, actually someone on the Facebook group had mentioned, maybe we should, do kind of a quilt drive sort of thing and, try to help out where we could since we were quilters with the Hurricane Helene disaster over in the Carolinas. So at first I was resistant and I thought, no, that's bigger than me. I don't want to start that. There's plenty of people that can do that without my help. So I decided, I wasn't going to connect myself with anything as far as the channel or the Facebook group, and each could just do what they wanted personally. So then, soon after, if not the same day, I received an email from Lo and Behold Stitchery in Black Mountain, North Carolina, and I thought, this is just the ticket. We can, work together as a Facebook group or the channel here and, send our quilts in to Lo and Behold Stitchery because they were receiving them. I received this email on October the 5th. I'm not real sure when the actual hurricane was now. But, we got that email hit my inbox on October the 5th. I think that was a Friday, wasn't it? 6, 7. I know I sent my 4 quilts off on the 7th. Then I got another, email on, let's see, this was Saturday. And it said that they had received 900 quilts, which is good. And of course, that's from people all over the place. And they were very thankful for that. And then you could also, go and download one of their patterns for a price. And they were donating half of their proceeds from those sales to relief work. So with this email, which I received yesterday on the 12th, they said they were no longer accepting any more. There was a cutoff date of like the 10th. Let me see if I've got this right. So this is what they say on their website right now. Regarding the quilt drive, and this is as of October 12th, and it says your generosity has been absolutely amazing. As of today, we've received over 900 quilts, and there are more than that still on their way to us. Because of these donations, we've been able to deliver them to local communities on a daily basis, quickly getting them in the hands of people who need them. Know that you make a difference in the lives of so many. And then there's an important message that says, with the quilt donations that we know are still arriving over the next couple of weeks, and with organizations starting to slow down their requests for bedding, we ask that if you would still like to donate a quilt, please consider donating them in your local community. It says, while we have experienced firsthand the immediate need, we also know that every day there are people in need in all of the communities across the country. And it says, if you have already shipped a quilt that is in transit, it will arrive to us and be distributed. However, I experienced something different, and some of the rest of you have contacted me and said that this has happened to you as well. I sent my quilt on the 7th, and it was rejected on the 9th. It says it was rejected by Lo and Behold Stitchery. I doubt that. I feel like maybe, some other government authority or something, maybe UPS, because I sent mine UPS, decided to do that, but my quilts have already came back to me. And, I'm sorry if that happened to you too. I really, truly am. I don't know where the disconnect is, but there was one. And I know how you feel because I experienced it myself. We paid upwards of $20 in postage I don't know. I think mine was 16 something. Maybe some of you paid even more than that. And the package just got sent back to us. So I know how that makes you feel. And I'm sorry about that. I know it's not my fault. I'm not saying it's my fault. I had nothing to do with that. But it's not your fault either. You all sent in your quilts just like we were instructed to do. And they just, for some reason, got sent back. They weren't opened and looked at and decided to be sent back or anything like that. There was no way they could know what was in the package to want to reject it. But still, it gives you a certain feeling, right? You know, you're trying to do something good and you're spending money out of your own pocket and it just gets thrown back to you. So it's not a good feeling. And I don't want any of you feeling like I feel, but I know that you probably do. But, yeah, I would suggest, just like they say, you know, take those quilts that came back to you and distribute them in your own community some way. And that's what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to pay postage again for that same box. Not to say I will never, ever pay postage to send a quilt somewhere to somebody. I will be doing that, but I'm not going to do that with this box of quilts. I'm gonna do something else with them. So you do whatever you need to do, and I'm not blaming anyone for what happened. I mean, like I said, there's some sort of disconnect along the way. We did what we were supposed to do. Sometimes that's just the way things happen. When things are in a disaster state, there's a lot of miscommunication, and, you know, decisions are made, you know, maybe not thinking and that sort of thing. So I did learn a lesson, though, and the lesson that was learned by me was that my original feeling was pretty firm that I was not going to initiate a quilt drive and probably not participate in a quilt drive. But at the last minute, someone suggested it, and then that email showed up, and I was like, this is perfect, we'll do it. You know, and I felt good about it. But I should have stuck with my guns and said, no, I'm not going to get involved in a quilt drive. It's too much. It's too much pressure. It's can be a lot of work. And this was just one way that I saw it as, oh, this is a way where I don't really have anything to do with it other than getting the message out to everybody else to send their quilts. So, I don't know. I should have just stuck with what I first thought, and I wouldn't have all this anguish now about it. But, yeah, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. All of us are doing things from our heart, and that's what's important, and that's what counts in the end anyway. So it's just quilts. It's just a few dollars postage. Maybe all of us learned a lesson out of it some way or another. But some of your quilts probably did make it and got appreciated and got into the hands of people down there that so sorely needed them. So congratulations to you for following through doing that in that quilt drive there. So no hard feelings against anybody, against Lo and Behold Stitchery, or against UPS, or the government, or FEMA, or any of those people. I'm perfectly okay. Everything's fine. I know it's not my fault. It's not your fault. We did what we could. We did what we could from our hearts. That's all that matters. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned sew sampler boxes and spoilers. You know how some social media entities put out spoiler alerts for the sew sampler boxes. Well, I had one of you who took it upon yourself to find out exactly what is the lowdown about spoiler alerts. Is there supposed to be spoiler alerts? or not. Now we know if you're a Sew Sampler box subscriber that in that Facebook group for Sew Sampler, we don't show anything before the 30th of the month. Everybody knows and understands that. But what about everybody else and everywhere else? Are they supposed to do that? I don't care what anybody does. People are going to do what they're going to do. And I know what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to show that box before the 30th. Let me get the email here that I got from a contact. And I want to read you what Fat Quarter Shop themselves said about it. Okay. She said that this is what our friend, our fellow one of you subscribers said. Not going to mention any names, but you know who you are and you're great. Says one of the YouTube channels that I follow. This is what she wrote to Fat Quarter Shop. Good afternoon. One of the YouTube channels I follow had your box opening today, the 30th of September. She said that the box wasn't supposed to be opened until today. Can you clarify that this is correct? Last week, I watched 3 box openings. Now, she was talking about me, because I had mentioned, it's the 30th and I can show this box now, what I got in it. I wasn't doing a real formal opening or anything like that. I was just showing you what I got in the box, and I knew I had to wait till the 30th. So she had watched me and heard me say that, and then she wrote this email and said she had also watched 3 box openings a week prior. So she got a message back, and it was just kind of an auto response. It was, thank you for contacting us. Your message has been received. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get back with you in 2 days. And so after that amount of time, she got a response from a person at Fat Quarter Shop, and her name is Kelly. And hold on. Her name is Kelly B. from the customer service team. This is what she said back. She said, thank you for choosing Fat Quarter Shop. That is a good question. Some of our affiliates do receive certain boxes a day or 2 early so that when they are supposed to reveal, they can. And that is in quotes, supposed to. There are some that will do the reveal early, even before Kimberly has a chance to show them, and for everyone to receive them. Kimberly Jolly is the owner of Fat Quarter Shop, says just doesn't want someone to see it before they get the box. I hope this is helpful, and feel free to contact us if you have any questions. So, it's not a written law, but Kimberly, the owner of Fat Quarter Shop, is saying she doesn't want anyone to see the box before someone else receives the box. So, spoiler alerts, she didn't mention spoiler alerts per se. But don't you kind of get the feeling that we're not supposed to show those things until the 30th? Am I wrong about that? Am I thinking wrong? Put it in the comments, whatever you think. I will respect anything you say about it. I'm thinking I'm going to stick to the unwritten rule. But she says some affiliates receive it a day or 2 early so that when they're supposed to reveal it, they can on the 30th. All right, enough about that. Enough about that. But I just wanted you all to know that I wasn't crazy for saying that. Nobody said I was. But, if there's a rule, we should follow the rules, right? I don't know. All right, let's get busy doing some sewing, doing something else instead of talking about these issues, and have some fun in our sewing rooms this week. Be sure and come back on Wednesday for that first tutorial on the first row of the Jolly Bar book, Row Quilt Sew Along. I'm getting it. I'm getting that name down, even if it does have 10 words in it. All right, so a little bit every day. See you on Wednesday and back again on Friday for the stuff you got done and the stuff I got done. All right, have a great week. We'll see you soon. Bye.